Call the meeting to order. Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Larry Hall.
Yes.
Alderman Hoppy.
Yes.
Alderman Kerwin.
Yes.
Alderman Van Dyne.
Yes.
Alderman Kirby Hall.
Yes.
Alderman Persick.
Yes.
Alderman Studer.
Yes.
Alderman Tudor.
Yes.
All present, you have a quorum.
Start the regular meeting of the Wilmington City Council on August 6, 2013 is now in session. Alderman got a approval of the minutes for the last regular council meeting. Would you like to speak before you?
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes as presented from July 16th and have them placed on file.
Got a motion by Alderman Tudor. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Alderman Kerwin. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Tudor.
Yes.
Alderman Kerwin.
Yes.
Alderman Larry Hall.
Yes.
Alderman Hoppy.
Yes.
Alderman Van Dyne.
Yes.
Alderman Kirby Hall.
Yes.
Alderman Studer.
Yes.
Alderman Persick.
Yes.
8 yes, motion passes.
All right, Mayor's report, a few things before we get to the resolutions. One I just wanted to bring up, as everybody knows, last weekend we had our Catfish Days Festival, our annual festival, our 15th year. It turned out to be another successful year. We had some great weather for it. We've been doing this, I guess, been chairing the committee for 15 years, and I've got a good group of people that have been helping me for pretty much a majority of those 15 years. I'd just like to kind of mention their names if you guys see them out. There's a lot of work goes into this every year. It turns out to be a real successful festival. But Wayne and Phyllis Felton, both 85 and 86 years old, they've been with us the whole 15 years. With Phyllis, I know she's not here, but boy, she knows how to handle books. So, and she's been a great asset. Their daughter as well, Celeste Milton, has always been a help to us. Tom Smith, Angie Revis, John Persick, who's next to me, and did I miss anyone? Cass Blott, she's also been there. So it's really a small committee. I guess we're probably the most informal committee around, but we get things done, and it's been truly successful. But we couldn't have done that without our Public Works Department. It does a lot to get everything ready. We couldn't have done it without the Park District helping, and we especially couldn't do it with our police department. They're out there, they run a good contingency plan. Bottom line, we want to make sure everybody has a good time. I think most everybody does. They were well behaved. For the most part, I'm sure we had maybe just a couple minor things. Do you know of it?
I think one arrest.
One arrest. So I mean,
And one pending.
So hey, that's a typical weekend.
I'm happy. I'm happy.
That's right.
Yeah. And also, also Esther for helping us. They put those lights out on the light plans. They help us with the parade. Especially because we know we're short-staffed. I mean, tremendous work, especially with our police department, because they were taxed this weekend with long hours because of our staffing efficiencies that we have. But other than that, it was, I think, a very successful weekend. I know a lot of the businesses did extremely well. I think a lot of businesses will benefit from just the people coming into town that weekend. So that's one thing I wanted to mention. Also, coming up this weekend, which is August 10th, there's a lot of stuff going on in town. First off, on the North Island, the coalition has their party that day. I'm sure a lot of us will be there participating in it, as well as Park District's got their Wet Wild again that day as well. But also we have at Bellew Road on the same day, starting at 10 o'clock, is the dog park access. And some of you guys could probably remember several years ago when the Forest Preserve came in and closed down Forsyth Woods for our kids had used for many years to do their sledding. But working with the Park District was able to relocate the sledding area, but also working with them, they got to understand what some of the needs were in this area and what some of the desires were, and a lot of those issues were the dog park issues. They applied for OSLAD grants. We supported their endeavor, and it's become successful. So they will be opening up that dog park here this Saturday at 10 o'clock. So I really encourage all the aldermen especially, and also the people in town to, take the time just to go out there, if it's just for a little bit. They have a lot of stuff going on. I think Nellie's is going to be out there selling their food. I don't think they'll be selling Wildcat or Murph burgers, but they'll be selling something. So, take the time to go out there and see what they've done, and see how the money, basically where tax dollars have gone to provide something for dog owners, and not just dog owners, for anybody who wants to go out and enjoy a park that's part of the forest control. So just want to make those announcements for tonight. Also, before you see under the mayor's report, I have a resolution for the dedication of the water tower and the ancillary property regarding Ridgeport's.
Ready? I move to approve resolution number 2013-12, resolution approving acceptance of dedication of water tower and ancillary property of Ridgeport Properties.
A motion by Alderman Persick, do we have a second?
I second it.
Second by Alderman Hoppy. Any discussion?
Inspections were completed by the engineers, and this is just turning that property over to us, but all the warranties and all that is still intact, and as everything goes with the Ridgeport agreement. So it's time for us to take ownership of it, and we are using it as potable water now too. So
It is filled up, correct?
it's halfway.
That's what.
Jack hasn't had any issues with it?
No, they've had water in it now for about, I think over 3 months. And they've been running pressure tests on it and everything like that. The electrical, the only thing that we don't have hooked up to it yet is comments. There's electric service for lighting on the inside. So it's like a home service basically. We're looking for a 100 amp service to come in. So it's running off a generator right now for the lights. But comments got on their list to get out there to give us a service.
Okay.
All right. Anything else? Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Persick.
Yes.
Alderman Hoppy.
Yes.
Alderman Larry Hall.
Yes.
Alderman Kerwin.
Yes.
Alderman Van Dyne.
Yes.
Alderman Kirby Hall.
Yes.
Alderman Studer. Alderman Tudor.
Yes.
8 yes, motion passes.
Thank you. The next item on the under mayor's report is in regards to the resolution that we passed in support of Peatone and how it applies to basically Aqua trying to look for that word.
The ASPR certificate is still going to need to expand their water and wastewater up to the Peatone Airport area.
Yeah, and we're looking, we're looking for a petition to intervene. As we all know, water is a great commodity, and we're fortunate to have a surface water facility. And I think it's always vital to us that we understand that what we've been dealing with as far as our water rates and our lack of growth, that we got to. I'm always a firm believer that the more people that can share the cost, the cheaper it is for everyone. So not only do we look to possibly sell water to businesses that come in, but we got to look at the possibility of sharing that water with our neighbors, whether they be to the east or to the west of us, and it's possible. So I think it's vital that we show support to Peatone and their needs to make sure that these water rights aren't taken away by a private company. So,
I have that
yeah,
one,
Mr.
Mr. Mayor.
okay.
I move to approve the petition to intervene relating to Aqua Illinois Certificate of Public Convenience and necessity to construct, operate, and maintain a water distribution system. This is in relation to the Peatone Resolution of Support and the future City of Wilmington Regional Water Supply Plan for Southern Will County.
A motion by Alderman Hall, do I have a second?
I'll second that, Mayor.
Second by Alderman Percy. Any discussion?
Just one update, I received an email this afternoon that Monique also filed an intervening petition too. Even though they receive wastewater treatment from Aqua, they don't receive water. So they filed a petition with the ICC to intervene for Aqua not to have this territory. So we'll be talking to them, working with our fellow municipalities to address this. And with the ICC, we have till August 14th, so we don't have time to file our petition.
I always think it's vital that as municipal governments, especially on the local level in communities, we have the best interest of the people we represent at heart, not a private company. It's always best to make sure that we work with those companies, or work with the municipalities to provide what we can. So.
And we'll provide an update on the water supply plan for Southern Will County. We have paper that we'll be able to give you guys of how that plan sort of conceptually what it looks like.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Larry Hall.
Yes.
Alderman Percy.
Yes.
Alderman Tudor.
Yes.
Alderman Studer.
Yes.
Alderman Kirby Hall.
Yes.
Alderman Van Dyne.
Yes.
Alderman Kerwin.
Yes.
Alderman Hobby.
Yes.
8 yes, motion passes.
All right, citizens' comments, we got citizens' comments tonight? Anybody?
Mr. Roper.
I came here tonight to present a problem for the city. I've noticed it for 5 years, and something needs to be done about it. I've gone different ways of trying to get some positive reaction from the city, but no one has seemed to take the proper action yet. And what I'm concerned about is an intersection on North Kankakee Street and Deer Creek Drive. That is a completely blind corner, and you cannot see it if you're behind. You can't see oncoming traffic if you're behind the stop sign there. You have to get right out on the street in order to see it because of all the underbrush under those trees there. Those trees, there's no problem, but the underbrush under them is 6 feet tall or better, all the way from just about the edge of the road at Deer Creek Drive and all the way to the bridge. That's my concern. And I'd like to see some positive action taken on that as far as cleaning it up. Thank you.
It's Wayne Earl. Wayne Earl, yeah.
Wayne Earl.
Thanks, Wayne. Yes, Ron.
Mr. Mayor and Council, Ron Pensex, my name. Reading a note that I wasn't really here at the last meeting about the so-called cross connection that you're going to be voting on tonight. Is that correct? Has that got to do with the backflow preventers and so forth?
No, we're not doing that tonight, Ron.
Oh, okay.
It's under water sewage.
But
It's under, somebody got that ordinance tonight?
Where?
It's right there.
Sorry.
Yeah?
I think you're reading.
Go ahead, Ron.
Right,
Go
well,
ahead.
my question is that, is the city and this inspection going, from what I read, is going to be coming into the houses now to see who has and who has not had the backflow preventers in their water lines? I believe it's my recollection that the state of Illinois passed a law back in '96 that every house at that time was supposed to have backflow preventers from their inside their house and inside their basement. And my question is, what happens to liability to say a person like me or anybody else that hadn't had a house built here in town after 1996, and when it was inspected, nothing was ever said about having to put this in, and now if I or the rest of these people are going to be forced to pay to have to put this in to comply, I don't think that's right, and I think the city is opening themselves up a can of worms, because in other towns that it's happened to, the cities have lost.
I don't think it's in relation to backflow preventers going into homes, is it?
Oh, yeah.
No, well, I don't think that's what this is in relation to, because.
Well, I'm just saying.
The backflow preventer in the house would leak all the time, because that's, once you flush.
But if you look at the 1996 law, the state of Illinois law about backflow preventers, it says, in fact, now they even make, and you can probably ask Colby, they even make you put a schematic on a new house drawing to show the piping for it. So you may want to check into
I can see
it.
a check valve, but not a backflow preventer.
Well, I was always under the assumption that the meters would have a backflow preventer in there, but I don't know about the meters that we have, but you may want to check into it a little bit.
Yeah, we'll check into it.
Thanks, Ron.
When are we going to shelve this one?
Oh, I don't know, we'll wait till we get more explanation. Any other citizens' comments? All right, Planning and Zoning Commission, the next scheduled meeting is Thursday, August 15th, 2013, at 6 o'clock p.m. Committee reports, Building Grounds, Parks, Health and Safety, Alderman Persick, Alderman Van Dyne.
Mr. Mayor, our next scheduled meeting is Wednesday, August 14th, 2013 at 6 p.m.
All right, water, sewer, streets, and alleys, Alderman Studer, Alderman Kerwin.
Mr. Mayor, I have this first one I'd like to approve, but should we,
Let's get some, did we talk
should
about
we,
this?
should we get more information on this?
The Wausau Committee had this, and right now, this is supposed to be for our commercial users only, commercial and industrial users, we're not talking about residential.
Okay,
That's our own ordinance.
should we add some wording to this, Mr. Urban?
Well, our ordinance only applies, the ordinance we have in place only applies to commercial and industrial.
Yeah.
So we can't, I mean, we couldn't go into residentials if we don't require it within our ordinance.
Okay, so reading this means that it's only going to be for commercial and not residential.
Correct.
It's what our cross-connection ordinance is about, is just for commercial.
And run that by again, what that is going to do, that cross-connection control program.
IEPA requires that for the commercial and industrial users now, that we have to keep an inventory of all the facilities, and then we have to have an annual, the companies that do have them, they have to provide us an annual inspection report that they get tested every year. So in our IEPA report with the water review, we don't have an ongoing program. So this company is going to help Jack set this up, and so it's all by database, and it'll assist our commercial and industrial users. So we'll meet the IEPA requirements for
That doesn't necessarily mean all commercial and industrial buildings.
Not all, no.
There are certain criteria that deal with water injection systems and stuff like that that are under the statute that would apply to those that require cross-connection control. So you may have some commercial businesses that are just, like in maybe industrial park, they're just pole barns there with nothing really connected to the water system. They would be required to have cross-connection control.
What about,
So like an auto facility or something like that, or I think possibly some food facilities, cross-connection controls and backflow preventers would be required.
I'd recommend a table because, look, John found in their appendix, they have residential listed as a percentage, which I don't know why they do.
Yeah, should
Because they're not going to be looking at residential.
we never any discussion about residential, I think we need to address that.
I mean, you remember at Wausau,
I remember them commenting on the fact that residential properties could be as dangerous as commercial properties.
It's in the IPA law. If you look into IPA 1990, I believe it's 1996, when they issued that, I believe it's in their houses and.
Well, we
They did say a percentage would be checked out.
Maybe under IEP's recommendations, but the biggest thing is if it's under state statute. If the state has applied it to their statute, which I don't think they have under residence. I mean, the IEPA can put it in there, but if it does under state statute, I don't think it's enforceable.
Were you
We
saying?
don't have to enforce it.
No, he was not.
Okay, what were you saying?
I was saying that when we were at the Wausau Committee, the company that we're speaking about did say that residential properties could be just as dangerous as commercial properties without backflow preventers, and that the city would be responsible for checking all commercial and residential properties to see if they exist because we have liability to do that. The EPA is putting that liability on the municipalities, and that was the reason why we were hiring these guys in the first place. So if we need to look in to see what type of liability we're going to have in situations like Ron is speaking about, where we gave building permits to facilities, to homeowners, and didn't require them to put them in the first place. If they're going to back charge us or try to sue the city for not requiring it in the first place, then we might be opening up quite a financial can of worms, as Ron said.
I want to see how it actually
at that.
correlates with state statute too, that's usually what we abide by. And usually any type of IEPA stuff regulations usually implemented by statute, but I mean, under the statute cross-connection control that I've read, doesn't mention residential, just mentions commercial and industrial. So what we can do is, let's go ahead and table this. Let
our attorney take a look at it.
Yeah, let's get a clear explanation.
I agree.
Yeah, it's the motion to table this.
I don't even think we applied the motion, did you? You haven't read the motion?
No.
No, we have to motion.
Okay, want to strike that from the agenda for
Well, let's
tonight?
just do a motion to table.
I'll do a motion to table the cross-connection control program professional service agreement between the city and CCRA Professional Services LLC.
We have a motion by Alderman Kerwin, do I have a second?
I'll say.
Second by Alderman Studer. All those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
All opposed? All right, motion carries.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, I have another one here. I move to approve change order number 1 for the North Island parking lot and Deer Creek Estates improvement project.
A motion by Alderman Kerwin, do I have a second?
I second it.
Second by Alderman Hoppy. Any discussion?
What was this one?
Okay, basically, as you guys know, last council meeting, we approved the contract on this, but it was at a higher value than what we had budgeted. Colby was here and said that they had reduced those amounts, which is what this is change order is a reduction in that bid. But we couldn't implement it right at the bid time, or we would have had to go up for new bids. So what we did is, this is that reduction that's coming in. What you're voting on now is the reduction, it's a change order, but it's a deduct from what the initial amount was down to the amount.
Where does it get us to? What-
Yeah, how-
Does it get us the budget?
Yes, it gets us under the budgetary requirement. Hold on.
John just wants to make sure the motion was correct.
What are we looking for?
I think we just need a written finding that the change order is in the best interest of the city of Wilmington.
By the same engineer.
378,
Right, yeah.
that's
So-
304.
If they added a motion upon recommendation of the city engineer's findings.
Right, it's in the best interest of the city of Wilmington, then go ahead and make the change order.
Going from 378 to 304.
Right.
With a reduction of 73,449.
Yeah, under the statute, in order to do a change order, the city would have to make, or someone with the city would have to make a finding that one of 3 conditions are present. And it appears the one that is present is the fact that it's in the best interest of the city of Wilmington.
We just add that to the current motion?
Correct.
So basically, Kevin, amend the motion to say at the end, as recommended by the city engineer for the best interest of the city.
Did you catch that, Judy?
That's how it's recorded.
Okay, as recommended by the city engineer for the best interest of the city. Let's go ahead and reread that motion.
Okay, I move to approve change order number 1 for the North Island parking lot and Deer Creek Estates improvement projects as recommended by the city engineer in the best interest of the city of Wilmington.
Have a, that. Okay, Kevin still got his motion, you make a second?
I seconded the first motion.
You still maintain your second?
I'll second that motion.
Right. Any further?
Do we need to rescind the first one?
Wait, wait,
I don't think so.
no, Alderman Happy seconded that.
Is this a different motion?
Yes.
Yeah,
It's a revised, okay.
Frank seconded the first one.
No, Frank seconded the first.
Is the record clear that you withdrew the first motion?
No, we'll just, just all messed up now. Yeah.
If this is the Deer Creek one,
do what, let's just start over. Guys, we do a motion to rescind that previous motion, the first motion. There you go.
Kevin, rescind your first motion.
Just do a motion to rescind the first motion.
I rescind the first motion of, to approve change order number 1 for the North Island parking lot and Deer Creek Estates improvement project, as recommended by city engineer for.
All right, got a motion by Alderman Kerwin to rescind, do you have a second?
I'll second the
Second by
motion.
Alderman Studer, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Now read the next motion.
I move to.
Hold
Did
on.
you have a motion on the first one? Didn't you have a motion for change order?
Yeah, that was, we just rescinded that, now he's rereading the motion with the city engineer's stuff on there.
You rescinded his motion with the city engineer, you didn't rescind
No.
the motion of the change order.
Start.
Yeah, he did.
He read the right one.
He
You
read the
read
right.
the right one just now. You were talking.
Now he's got to make.
You
No,
got both,
I see-
you're
I see what you're saying.
thinking of
I-
both of the
Okay.
first and the second one.
Now he's making a motion on, with the city engineer's approval.
Right.
We rescinded the motion without the city engineer's approval. Now we're at.
Yes, he did.
I don't think that's
I
what it
don't
says.
think you rescinded the wrong one, huh?
You said the whole thing.
Yeah, he rescinded the wrong
You had to
one.
leave this stuff out.
He rescinded
That
this.
stuff out.
He re-
No, he
No, he didn't.
Okay, I rescind the first motion to approve change order number 1 for the North Island parking lot and Deer Creek Estates improvement project.
There you go.
A motion by Alderman Kerwin, do I have a second?
Second is,
Too technical. I second, second. by
Rescind the
Alderman
last
Studer.
one. So now we're rescinding both ones, so
Yeah.
now we can start
All
over.
right, we got,
All in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
All right,
Now you
now,
start over.
I move to approve change order number 1 for the North Island parking lot and Deer Creek Estates improvement project as recommended by city engineer in the best interest of the city of Wilmington.
All right, motion by Alderman Kerwin, do we have a second?
I'll second again.
Second by Alderman Studer. Any more discussion?
Yeah, didn't we have? I just, didn't we only have like $234,000 in that budget?
No.
No, we had 162,000 in Deer Creek, and we had 150-some thousand on the North Island. So it was 312,000,
Yeah.
and now we're down to
Oh, four.
304.
Okay, that's all I had.
Any other discussion?
No, we're good.
Good question.
All right, roll call vote, please.
Alderman Kerwin,
Yes?
Alderman Studer,
Yes.
Alderman Persick,
Yes.
Alderman Tudor,
Yes?
Alderman Kirby Hall,
Yes.
Alderman Van Dyne,
Yes.
Alderman Hoppy,
Yes.
Alderman Larry Hall.
Yes.
8 yes, motion passes.
And our next scheduled meeting is Wednesday, August 14th, at 5:30 p.m.
All right, hallelujah. On to police tonight.
Mr. Mayor, I have one. I move to approve the authorization for the chief of police to hire a police officer for the Wilmington Police Department, Christopher M. Hoppy.
I have a motion by Alderman Tudor, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Alderman Hudson. Any discussion?
Yeah, explanation a little bit, I mean,
Yeah.
Update-
I
update us
thought
here.
we just hired him.
Yeah, this is part of the process we're going through we're hiring this person. This is in relation to the Ridge contribution, which will kick in when the first part of September.
September 1.
September. What this does is, if we approve this tonight, allows the police commission to move forward with the psych and to finish up the psych tests. I think there's a background.
The background's done,
Background's done.
polygraph's done, psychological.
Okay, so before we initiate the funding for that, for the site test, we want to make sure the council's on board as we move forward for this. As you know, this is a lateral move, part of the lateral, and it's part of the Bridgeport funding that will be coming. So by the time we get him on board, it's going to be September anyway, so we're looking right around the same timeline.
So there's no payment from this
Maybe a couple weeks, but nothing of any significance, but just from the commissioner and from, with our chiefs and doing the interview process, I think they wanted to move forward with this.
Well, I think they could go ahead and they could do that because who pays for that? Don't they pay the site themselves?
Not the psych, it's a pricey test, so that's why you have to offer the conditional offer of employment first. before they take.
So if we're looking at 2 to 3 weeks before supposedly Ridge brings in money, the gentleman's still gonna be there, I think he's working now somewhere else, correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, so he's already working somewhere, so I recommend to the council, let's wait till we get the money from Ridge before we hire somebody.
And the way it's gonna work is, the money's gonna come in as a reimbursement, not as a front end. So we have to hire the person, we have to do the expense, and then we get the reimbursement from Ridge. So.
Okay, then we'll hire the person when we think we're gonna get the money.
Well, we know we'll get the money September 1 because that's contractually obligated in the annexation agreement. You know, I know where you're coming from. We might have a week where he might be hired before we can get reimbursed, but under the agreement is from September 1 is the target date for that to happen. Yes, you could be liable for a week's salary to hire this individual, but for planning purposes, if you give them that conditional offer of employment and to spend the dollars for the site, I would recommend. The only thing I would recommend is if you're a little cautious, I would remove the name from the motion and just authorize the chief to hire one officer. And if that officer passes everything, he'll bring him to you at the next meeting to approve that officer. And then you can make a contingent upon approving that officer and swear him in that his start date is September 1. It helps with the planning and organizing because they're going to get field training started and scheduling, so it helps with them, the chief.
Well, I think it's beneficial for them guys to try to get somebody on board as quickly as possible.
We don't want to lose
them. 2 weeks ahead of time. You know, these guys have put in a lot of hours, a lot of interview hours with them, and you know, we're trying to get up our staffing and stuff like that, kind of reduce some of our overtime issues. You know, if it's a couple of weeks, we're talking what, $1,000, $400.
Are we budgeted currently for this guy?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
On the ridge contribution we are.
Yeah, but not on River right
Yes,
now.
in the budget it was a pass-through.
If there's any expenses for his salary before September 1, it's not in the budget.
Thank you.
What does the deputy chief think? How important is it to hire this gentleman early?
Well, it's a week closer to putting them on the street and reducing our man hours that we're having people mandated to work. Everything right now is time for training to put people out there. I mean, realistically, I was going to bring them in on the 20th to swear them in, and we can even give them a start date of the 23rd, 24th, somewhere in there. He still has to give his other job. He wants to stay in good graces, give him notice. So it's not like he's going to start immediately tomorrow.
I think he wants assurances at the same time before he gives his.
Well, we have to, as a municipality, give him a conditional offer before we make it contingent with him passing his site, which he did pass, or I'm sorry, his polygraph, which he did pass, but the site is scheduled for the 8th. And that's like about a 10-hour procedure.
What were you say something?
Is he an officer already?
He is, he's working on
Is,
St. Anne.
Okay, so he has to recycle to come to another city?
Most definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah,
I figured
most
once you're there, you're there.
It's just like field training. He was field trained there, but he's going to come to us, and we're going to field train him the way we want him to do the job in Wilmington. We want to make sure that his polygraph is correct, his psychological is correct. I mean, mistakes are making, and we're just
Well,
covering
I
everything.
just
Yeah.
let her know when you talk transfer and coming from one to another.
Yeah, we just got paid for all the,
Save a lot of money on the training annual.
Yeah. We just gotta-
6 weeks.
Right.
gotta learn our streets. All right, any further discussion? Can I get a roll call vote?
Alderman Tudor,
Yes.
Alderman Hoppy,
Yes.
Alderman Larry Hall,
No.
Alderman Kerwin,
No.
Alderman Van Dyne,
Yes.
Alderman Kirby Hall,
Yes.
Alderman Studer,
Yes.
Alderman Persick.
Yes.
We have 6 yes, 2 nay, motion passes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right.
Sorry. Next scheduled meeting is Tuesday, August 13th at 5:30 PM.
Finance Administration and Land Acquisition Committee, Alderman Studer, Alderman Tudor.
Mr. Mayor, move to approve accounts payable report dated July 26, 2013, in the amount of $329,838.86.
A motion by Alderman Studer, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Hall. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Studer,
Yes.
Alderman Larry Hall,
Yes.
Alderman Hoppy,
Yes.
Alderman Kerwin,
Yes.
Alderman Van Dyne,
Yes.
Alderman Kirby Hall,
Yes.
Alderman Persick,
Yes.
Alderman Tudor.
Yes.
8 yes, motion passes.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve ordinance number 13-08-06-01, a real estate contract with Midwest Community Real Estate Corporation, Wilmington Building Enterprise LLC, and the City of Wilmington, contingent on financing.
Let's make one recommendation on that. So really not finance, contingent on receiving the funds from Bridgeport.
Okay, we might add that.
Yeah, just add that before.
Just add that.
Just add that before I accept the motion.
Yeah.
Okay, contingent on receiving the funds from Bridgeport Properties
Before closing.
before closing. If you could cover this ahead of time, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
We talked about this in meeting. Okay, is that clear enough?
Thanks. Have a motion by Alderman Studer, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Alderman Tudor. Any discussion?
On that $82,000 that we're in that contract, I know it probably don't pertain to this, but wasn't we doing repairing their driveway too? Or is that on the other that we
The
decided to
way
take?
the contract reads now is we're going to be responsible for maintaining the driveway to our standards for entering into that parking lot, because we are going to widen it out so that it's got truly two cars can come and go safely. So we will be improving the driveway, but we're not improving the parking lot anymore.
Okay, and that's part of the,
And if they get the cash, they can do it themselves.
okay. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Studer,
Yes.
Alderman Tudor,
Yes.
Alderman Persick,
Yes.
Alderman Kirby Hall,
Yes.
Alderman Van Dyne,
Yes.
Alderman Larry Hall,
Yes.
Alderman Hoppy,
Yes.
Alderman Kerwin.
Yes.
8 yes, motion passes.
All right, items 3, 4, 5, and 6 are tabled, so we can get the information to you guys. So item number 7 first.
Okay, next scheduled meeting Tuesday, August 20th, 2013 at 6 p.m.
Ordinance and license, Alderman Hoppy, Alderman Hall.
Next scheduled meeting is Tuesday, August 13th at 6 o'clock.
Okay, personnel and collective bargaining, Alderman Hall, Alderman Persick. I believe we have executive session under collective bargaining,
Yes, sir. And on personnel.
personnel as well. All right, city administrator's report, Mr. Graff.
Yes, we're going to receive a notice that now for the Indiana corridor, they have now put a 2B alternate interchange for Old Chicago Road back on the corridor plan to finish up their Tier 2 study. So our efforts in explaining to them that we really do not like the Route 53 interchange and our preferred is still the Old Chicago. What they did do is, and most likely it'll be on the map tonight, if not, it'll be on the website tomorrow. They're going to line it up with the local 150 driveway. They'll turn that into a full intersection. So they'll be able to enter onto the Ileana at that location. That way the Kavanaugh Farm that's on the corner of Old Chicago is considered a centennial farm. And when they had meetings with landowners, they want to preserve that farm and don't want to interrupt that, interrupt their, to purchase that property. So we will get a resolution together to let them know that's our preferred, at least to discuss it, that's our preferred interchange instead of the Route 53 interchange. There is going to be a realignment too on Widows Road. Bobcat Field now will will not be taken, so we're maneuvering that corridor. There might be an additional 2 houses on Widows Road, though, that will be impacted along the Stevens area and Widows Road on the south end. But I thought they'd have it posted by 5 o'clock today, they don't yet, but they verbally, and they came by and told us about it. So the Oleana is it's a moving progress.
Ever changing.
Ever changing. Kankakee Street is still going to be open. If you're hearing the rumors that they're looking to close Kankakee Street, it'll stay open. They haven't figured out definitely how they're going to go over or stay at grade. There's still some discussion there going on, some engineering, but we'll see what that alignment is with this new corridor that they're expanding. We did have a meeting, what they call a Section 106. It's all the historic sites of the impact by the Oleana. What we'll be doing is at the Building and Grounds Committee, we will bring you back a report. The Eagle Hotel was identified. Of course, we have the Lynette homestead that's on Boathouse Road. That's being impacted. That site is a historic significant site. It's not on the register, but Will County Historical really believes that the whole Boathouse Road area is more of a historic district because of the brewery that used to be here, the Market family being basically part of Wilmington for many, many years. So we'll give you an update on how they're going to address historic sites and historic impacts. Wilmington, Will County is asked to come, historical is asked to come to the meeting and talk about that for a few minutes and look for support. And the reason that the Eagle Hotel is on it isn't going in our downtown area. There's a section in the historical Section 106 that talks about view sheds. So if there's a view impact, the best way they explained it was if you're more in a flat area and you're at you're looking out and all of a sudden you got an expressway that's in your way from that view shed. So it did meet the view shed, the hotel. So doesn't mean anything per se, but it's just telling you how detailed they're getting.
Sure, there's a lot of people like to do something that historic.
Yeah. So there'll be some interesting discussion at Building and Grounds, but we'll keep it level towards Wilmington only because they talked about the whole Oleana, the other historic sites that's there. So that's the update in regards to Oleana. The Kankakee River Bridge, we did get a phone call that they're going to move that project to the spring because it has, before they can mobilize, they want 53 and also Route 55, I-55 work done. By the time that's going to happen, it looks like they're going to be getting into the winter months or late fall months for our bridge. So they're going to do the bridge work now in the spring. So we won't have to deal with the construction of our bridge.
So they're saying that the construction of the bridge right now is okay.
Oh yes, structurally it always was okay. It was preventive restoration to extend the life of the current condition, which is still rated good. Why you want to get it before the rating starts going down. And that's over $2 million expenditure the state's doing on that bridge. It isn't going to be one of those 1 week where they come in and just make it look pretty.
Be done before the end of July.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I would ask the Wausau committee to think about and the council, as they come in to do that restoration, that bridge does have a historic Route 66 look to it. And one of the things that we might want to talk about is there is what's happening along Route 66 with these bridges is they're doing uplighting, which gives a nice effect with LEDs. It's very low voltage, but it looks really, unique in one respect, and then it highlights the Route 66 type of structure that's there. So now that we have time, we might want to maybe take a look at that and get some pictures of what they're talking about, because Route 66 would like us to maybe look at that bridge and maybe put some uplighting on it. I asked them, of course, if they got some funding, we'd love to look at it. And they said, we might be able to find you some funding for that. so we'll get a look at it. That's sort of been on the, on everything else going on with the construction, so.
Next, Tony. Attorney's report, Mr. Urban.
No report tonight, thank you.
All right, need a motion to go into executive session for personnel and collective bargaining.
I make a motion that we go into executive session at 7:48.
All right, motion by Alderman Hoppy, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Alderman Tudor. Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Hoppy,
Yes.
Alderman Tudor,
Yes.
Alderman Larry Hall,
Yes.
Alderman Kerwin,
Yes.
Alderman Van Dyne,
Yes.
Alderman Kirby Hall,
Yes.
Alderman Studer,
Yes.
Alderman Percy.
Yes.
All yes, motion passes.
I make a motion to come out of executive session at 7:58.
I'll second.
A motion by Alderman Hall, second by Alderman Tudor. Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Larry Hall,
Yes.
Alderman Tudor,
Yes.
Alderman Percy,
Yes.
Alderman Studer,
Yes.
Alderman Larry Kirby Hall,
Yes.
Alderman Van Dyne,
Yes.
Alderman Kerwin,
Yes.
Alderman Hoppy.
Yes.
All yes, motion passes.
All right, no action taken in regards to executive session tonight. Next regular city council meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, August 20th, 2013, at 7 o'clock p.m. They have a special one, we'll see what happens. Motion to adjourn, second,
I second
all in
it.
favor?
Yeah.